Welcome everyone, I'm Sheppard and I am with Shetlon Benjamin. How are you, man?
I'm very good, how are you doing?
Fine. And could you introduce yourself in a few words for the few viewers?
For the people watching, I'm Shetlon Benjamin, formerly known as the gold standard of WWE. As you notice, the hair isn't blonde today, but it's still me.
Where does this passion of wrestling come from?
My passion of wrestling comes from a very small age. I mean, growing up in Orangeburg, South Carolina, wrestling was a big part of my life. You know, I was one of those kids running around with cardboard belts that we made from crayons and tinfoil, and it was like something I watched anytime I could watch wrestling, I watched it. And when I was very, very young, I watched Magnum TA and Wahoo McDaniels fight for an hour for United States title, and that's when I was hooked. I was probably in the 4th grade when that happened, which was, I was probably 9, and ever since then I was a fan, and I loved it ever since.
All right. What is your most exciting memory of your career you highlight?
Wow, that's it's funny you say that. I've got so many different memories. I mean, I've been in 4, 5, 6 WrestleManias. I've traveled the world. I mean, it's more than I can list. I guess some of the highlights are obviously my first WrestleMania, where me and Charlie faced in a 3-way tag, Eddie and Chavo the Guerreros and Chris Benoit and Rhino for the tag team titles, and you know, we won. You know, my first WrestleMania experience, and at the time it was the biggest event I had ever been a part of, and you know, it was like euphoric to be in the middle of that stage. Other memories, obviously, the match with Triple H that pretty much launched my singles career, which was my debut on Raw. I mean, but there, like I said, there are so many highlights from my career. I think I've for every major star I've had a match with, it's for me a highlight. And I've had 5-star matches with all of them, from Triple H, HBK, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle. I mean, every major star in the last decade I've had a pretty exciting round with.
So you have a long list.
Like I said, it's too long to list. We'll be here all day.
Okay. Now about the RWR, this federation, you know. What does federation mean to you?
For me, it was just an opportunity to come and you know, showcase my talents outside of the U.S. I've always been a fan of international travel, and I have a lot of fond memories of France, Paris in particular, where me and Charlie tagged just a few years ago, and we were bad guys, but the fans were so into us that, you know, granted, you know, before the match really got underway, we had to change the baby faces, and you know, that's a real fond memory.
Did you remember an American flag on the way to the ring, on the side, you know? A huge American flag?
Yeah, I actually do. I actually do. That wasn't you guys, was it? Oh, that was you. That's
no
awesome.
kidding. First time, you know, well, it was Raw, I think. We were over here and put a huge flag, and you come to us. I was like, blast of my life, just before becoming reporter.
That was like I said, for me and Charlie, that's actually one of our that's actually a highlight for us, because as a team, that's the first time we ever went somewhere, and as a team, we've got turned. I've been, as a singles guy, you know, people, even when I'm bad, people tend to cheer for me because of, I guess, because of my work. But that was the first time as a tag team that it's been that overwhelming that no, we want you guys to be the good guys.
So what do you think on this French tour, you know, the French fan?
You know what, so far it's been great. I mean, this is only our 2nd show, and the reception for myself, and like last night, you know, Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team was in action, and so I think we got a pretty warm reception. So far we're having fun, and like I said, we still have what, 4 more shows.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
just the beginning.
So far it's just the beginning, but so far I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Okay. What do you think about Charlie Haas?
Charlie Haas. Charlie Haas to me is obviously one of the hardest working wrestlers, hardest working men I know. You know, to me he's a go-to guy. I mean, if you need a solid match, you want to have a guy like Charlie. I think a lot of the breaks that I got in my career are because of Charlie, because Charlie's work ethic has, you know, it forced me to elevate my work ethic, because I've always been, for lack of a better term, God gifted athletically. So I haven't really had to, a lot of things I do in the ring, they come so easy to me that I was becoming, early in my career, I was complacent. I knew I could do something high fly, but you know, it was a lot of little in-between small things that working with Charlie made me improve myself, because Charlie is much more technically advanced than me. I'm it's like yin and yang. And that's actually, you know, it's funny when I say yin and yang, it's like Charlie's white, I'm black. Charlie's high strung, I'm laid back. Charlie's, you know, a ground trooper, and I'm an Air Force. So it's like we complement each other, and it's to the point, you know, on a personal note, he's my best friend. I was the best man at his wedding. You know, his kids called me Uncle Sheldon, and you know, there's never been a point in our careers where we haven't been in contact. Even when he was away from WWE the first time, there was never a break in our relationship that I see so much in pro wrestling. When you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Me and Charlie are like, you know, we're like brothers. We call us, that's my brother.
Did you miss the time of the world greatest tag team?
I actually thought, both of us actually thought they split us up prematurely, because really we'd only been tagging as the world's greatest tag team for, you know, 2 years. Well, Team Angle and the world's greatest tag team, but we'd only been together for 2 years, and we made such a huge impact for 2 years. We could have, I feel like we could have gone and actually made the tag team division grow. But you know, WWE had different plans for us, and obviously I went on to have you know, a pretty decent singles career. You know, 3 Intercontinental Championships and a U.S. title it's no easy feat. I didn't reach the goal that I want and that I still want, but you know, I'm still young. I haven't left the business yet.
You have plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
What kind of advice would you give to someone who would like to become a wrestler?
My first advice to someone is always make sure you have a backup plan, because pro wrestling there's no promises, and it's like professional football. If you're the new hot commodity, they're going to chew you up and spit you out, you know, if you let it. So make sure that you have a solid backup plan. If you're someone who came right out of high school, you have no experience in anything else, you have no college education, and you have no skills, my first suggestion is develop something either while you're training for pro wrestling or before, because you know, one wrong move and it could be over. And even if you make it to the big time, I've seen guys who made it to WWE and never debuted on TV, even though I saw them every week. So that, you know, pro wrestling, it's a business, and there's no promises. You know, it's all a gamble, and you can make a lot of money, but I mean, or you can leave broke, and that happens too. That's my first advice. Have a good backup plan. My second advice is get credible training. There are so many guys in the business who have no business being in the wrestling business, who have no business running shows, who have no business promoting shows, because they don't know what they're doing. And what I mean by in the U.S., it's easy for someone to get a promoter's license and start running wrestling shows, but they don't know anything about promoting a show or building a show or how to book talent, and they don't know anything about in-ring wrestling either. I mean, it's two sides to the business. There's in-ring and there's out-ring, and if the out-ring is just some jabroni who saw an easy way to make money, you know, if you get involved with someone like that, I mean, you can crash and burn quick. And then it's like, just to get trained, like I said, there are a ton of guys who might have gone to a wrestling school somewhere and it's there for, you know, a few classes, and all of a sudden they're trying to train people to be wrestlers, and they don't, you know, they're not wrestlers themselves. Yeah. So it's like get credible training and be with and find people in the business who are credible.
Yes, I think we have the same trouble in France. I mean, you got some teacher, you know,
Mm-hmm.
try to teach wrestling, but like the first months, they teach how to do some high style move like Sheppard, or you know, but for some boy who are 10 years old, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think that actually you have to teach to try to find someone who actually, if I want to do something, I have to watch him doing the stuff, right. You know, it's
well, here's a problem number one. If you're watching TV to learn how to wrestle, then you're doing it the wrong way. To learn how to really wrestle, you need to come to shows like this, house shows where you have time to actually watch moves and watch psychology. And like the first thing for me, if I were to run a school, which I don't, but the first thing you teach is safety for me. If you're, you know, a guy 7 foot tall, for me, there's no reason for you to ever climb the ropes, none whatsoever. Yet I've seen in schools where they have these big tall guys or big fat guys, and you know, guys who are out of shape climbing the rope, and it's like, okay, well, right now they're teaching them the wrong things, and you don't teach high flying, you teach fundamentals, and you grow from there. I mean, when I joined OVW, it was 3 months before they even let me have a match, and Jim Cornette called me one of the fastest learners he's ever had, because, you know, like I said, you do pick up a lot from watching, but you don't learn fundamentals from watching. The first time I did a sunset flip, I almost took the skin off the guy's back because I knew what it was, but I didn't know how to properly execute it. And something as simple as that, you know, you could break someone's neck if you don't know what you're doing, which I didn't. So, like I said, it just goes back to finding credible, someone credible to teach you this stuff. And it's so, like I said, it's so easy, and you know, some people who have a passion for it, but I mean, if you're not in the business, you just don't know, you don't understand it, you can get taken advantage of so easy. And you know, some people are just gullible, and they don't. It's okay. Well, he does wrestling shows. Well, that doesn't mean anything. You know, who is he? What has he done in the business?
So be careful. No, like you said, you have won the Intercontinental Championship 3 times, the United States Championship 1, and the WWE Tag Team Championship twice, and won 2 times against Triple H.
Technically 3.
Okay. Okay, explain us why then you haven't a WWE Heavyweight Championships.
You know, that's one of the questions that everyone asks me, and like, I don't know. It's like they have this thing they always say, reach for the brass ring, and I felt like I reached for it and grabbed it so many times that, you know, maybe there isn't a brass ring for everyone. My last couple I won't even say my last couple years, but you know, it got to the point where like I don't know why, like things would be going great and then they just stop. Things would be going great again and then they just stop. I have a great match with the top guy and then it just stops. So I really don't have an answer for that. It's like everyone's asking me and I'm like, I really can't answer it. Obviously I've heard one of the running things is, oh well, he doesn't talk a lot, or he doesn't do good promos. And you know, at the beginning of my career, I 100% agree. My promos suck. I mean, there's some stuff I watch of myself, even I don't want to listen to. But at the same time, I apply myself, and I think I've gotten better. You know, I'm not John Cena by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not as bad as I was, say, in 2004, 2005. But I guess they just don't want to allow me to show that. They say, you know, no charisma. I'm like, well, you know, my style of charisma is like I go with what I'm given. For some reason, when I was doing the Mama's Boy thing, I was just playing what I was playing, and for some reason that was working. Everyone, I felt like that I got that over. But if you want me to be a kick-ass heel, mean guy with a chip on my shoulder, well, I can't come down to the ring dancing and being happy. No, I got a problem with anything and everyone. And one of the best points in my career was actually my first tour of VCW, and I had the angle with Kofi, and that was the first time in my career where I felt like a real heel, because it was a good story and things were being done the right way. I was a nuisance to them. I was an asshole. People wanted to see me get my ass kicked, and they booed me, they listened to what I said, and I was talking. It was like I was doing everything that I felt like as a heel I should have been doing, and it was working. And then it just stopped. They put us on separate shows, and I went on to win a U.S. title, but didn't really do much with that run.
Maybe for the future.
Maybe, like I said, I never say never. I like to put up front that while I have my question marks about why things didn't happen, I don't sit and cry about it. I mean, people ask me about it, so I have to address it, but this isn't something I take home with me. I had a great time in WWE. I made a lot of good friends. I made a lot of money, and I became, a worldwide, personality.
Yes.
So I mean, there's just as many pros to my career as cons. I feel I had an extremely awesome career, and now that I'm away from WWE, it's just a different part of my career that I think everyone should go through. Because right now I'm learning things that I just never been exposed to. I went straight from college to WWE, so I've always been, behind the ivory curtain. I'm at a point at this phase of my career. It's all a learning experience, and I'm a very positive person when it comes to my career. So I look at everything as a positive, and I needed to be away from WWE, because as long as I stay there, I didn't want to be one of those guys who I'm just holding up a space to get other people, over. Obviously that's part of the business, but when that becomes your job, that's not. I want to be a world champion now. I want to be a star, and a lot of times that means taking a step back to go forward. Me leaving the WWE was a positive step back. So hopefully, if I ever go back there, or whatever federation I make my home, I can make that much more of an impact. I can be that much bigger of a star, and hopefully reach my ultimate goals of being world champion and remembered for years to come.
So what can we hope for you in the future?
In the future, well, I'm definitely not going anywhere. That's for sure. And I honestly believe, I don't believe that my relationship with the WWE is completely over. I still believe there's a run. Like I left with an open door. We parted ways on good terms. So there's no bitterness or why from my part. Obviously my fans feel differently, but like I said, I'm a positive person. I look at everything positively. And like I said, dude, I expect to be back in WWE at some point in my career. And fans can expect me to be bigger, better, and badder than I've been before. I plan on stealing the show once again, be it WrestleMania, be it SmackDown, ECW, Ring of Honor, TNA. It doesn't matter where I am. My goal is to be the best absolute wrestling superstar that I can be.
He's ready. He's not afraid. He's afraid of anyone, even me.
Whoa.
Can you say a few words to your fans who are watching you?
To my fans that are watching me, Shetlon Benjamin is here to stay, and you can expect more, bigger, and better things from me. And I will be touring internationally. I'll be touring in the U.S., so if you hear my names on the ticket, you can expect to see a great match, have a great time, and we'll all have a lot of fun.